This is Matt. Here we are going to be watching NBA tip-off, which is basically inside the NBA but before the game starts. And we're going to be talking a little bit about how I've grown up with this show and how that there's a big chance that this is actually leaving TNT and going to NBC. If you've kind of heard the rumors, you probably kind of know that that's already kind of been in place. But I want to talk to you about TNT, inside the NBA, Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith. Those four people, and that show that they've created has been one of the highlights of all of sports, the entirety of sports, and it's one of the reasons that I actually got into watching sports at all. At this time, I live in Manhattan here. It's been really nice being able to cheer on a team, the Knicks, that have actually been around. Before that, I lived in Virginia, but I was traveling always. So my big team growing up was the Los Angeles Lakers. And of course, I went through like the Kobe Bryant era of the Lakers, and that was just big for me. And I guess big as a fan because I was winning, or my team was winning, and I was happy we were always in it in like the early 2000s, and it was just great. And I was watching basketball just to watch basketball. But when it came time for TNT to show the games, and especially the playoffs, it was just amazing. It was just something that always felt like these guys, not only do they know what they're talking about, but they have such a good rapport with one another, and they're just real people. Of course, they are multimillionaires. They are people who are at the best. They're the best at their craft. The three, Shaq, Kenny, and Charles, as basketball players, Hall of Fame basketball players, and Ernie Johnson being a masterclass in just broadcasting, and something that, I mean, I aspire to, being in journalism, being in media, somebody who can kind of engage a room, engage people around you, keep control, and just make it into like not such like a, how do you describe it? The way that he is on the show, he's not like a stick in the mud. He's not somebody that's overly serious, because you can see in other TV shows that some people are like, what do I need to do to be entertaining but keep control? And they come off that as that person that just is is unable to kind of be a part of the fun of everything. But you know, in this show, inside the NBA, they know exactly what they're doing. I believe it did start with Ernie Johnson. I never watched the ones where it was just him. I was born in 1989, and I believe that's when the show started, so I had no way of actually getting into things at that time. And by the time that I had watched, it was Ernie, Chuck, and Kenny. And those were the people who were always there. They always felt like that was the family. And when Shaq came, it just kind of, I thought this was going to change the dynamic, because he was probably the biggest star that was retiring at that point. And I really think because of his personality, maybe the first year or so, it was kind of something that didn't really work out. But over time, he became a part of that family. And I'm really happy at the product that they've been giving us for all these years. And again, this may be coming to a close, which is something that I just don't want to see. So here, I believe in 5 minutes, tip-off, NBA tip-off is going to be starting here, and we're going to watch, and we're going to have the volume on. You can actually hear what's on the background right now. It's just advertisements. But this is something I want to talk to you guys about. TNT is something that I think I watched when they had a different type of show on back in the 2000s. And I forget if this was the USA Network or if it was TNT, but they had shows that were like kind of what is it, serial or procedural? The ones where it's just like, oh, they have a crime to solve, and it's something different every time, but it had like this kind of light air to it. And that's why I came back to TNT. I'd actually like to see which TV shows that they've had on, because I have to say, as of right now, I don't turn on TNT unless it's inside the NBA. And just for the NBA, I don't watch all the games. But when it's on TNT, especially during the playoffs, I will make it a habit almost of watching these things. I just want to see. And I think that TNT losing this is going to be big. I think it's going to be big for this and big for True TV and TBS and all like the related channels. I don't know if they're going to survive this. I heard the pitch from NBC is 2.5 billion. That's a lot of money, and I think we all can agree of that. So let's see, what shows did they have? Let's see, they show Lucifer, Charmed, Supernatural. These are all shows that The Closer? I think Closer was one of the original shows. I'm not really sure about which other shows that they had in the past. Oh, they have other 2010s. Yeah, I really don't know about this. Former programming. I want to go back and just see this. Saved, Saving Grace, Raising the Bar, Dark Blue, Hawthorne, Men of a Certain Age, Trust Me, Rizzolian Isles, I remember that show. Southland, yes, I remember that show. Franklin and Bash, yes. Dallas, Major Crimes, I remember that too. Mob City, The Last Ship, Legend Librarians, I remember that. Agent X, Proof, Animal Kingdom is one that I really do remember when I first moved to New York. Claws, definitely, I remember that show. That was a fun, like, summer show. And I don't think they have any of those. They have one show, which I watched a few episodes, but I never got into it. But I do want to watch it more. It's about, I think, time travel. And I thought that was really interesting. The Alienist, I Am the Night, Snowpiercer, moved to AMC, and that kind of is done now. Let me see what they currently have here, because they don't have that much. The Lazarus Project. Yeah, it was one episode last season. I thought that was pretty interesting, but it's something that I didn't really come back to. And again, it just, right now, they have Impractical Jokers playing before the NBA Western Conference Finals. I know that people will be trying to switch on things right when the show starts, but this is not keeping me. This is entirely uninteresting and cheap content. And also, the episode that I'm watching right now is exactly what they showed before another playoff game. They're not even showing a different episode. Maybe this is the best one, but this one is pretty dumb just to begin with. I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. But for the content that they have right now, they have NBA and TNT, NHL and TNT, US Soccer, Major League Baseball. They have everything except for the NFL at this point. Maybe they'll pick up the NFL. But I just want to go back and say, the reason why I watch this is for those four personalities and the team behind them, because I think we talked about this on the vlog, or the podcast, sorry, is that they may try and bring these people over, but some people are not going to be able to break contract. A lot of the production, of course, will stay TNT, and then you'll get new production. They do such a great job at keeping things light for this TV show, and I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, and I wanted to make something like this that stays on this channel. I know this is a relatively new channel, and I'm starting to use this more, so we're not going to get a lot of hits, but I kind of wanted to record this more for me than anything, because I want a memory of how this was live. And again, this is something that's pretty interesting to me. So we're going to turn the volume here. This is mainly going to be me making some comments, maybe on the commercial breaks. But here we are with Inside the NBA. You can watch live maybe on your TV as well, but this is basically going to be me commenting on, and I really hope it's not one of the last shows that they ever do. Because after the Western Conference Finals are over, that means that the season for Inside the NBA is over. And that means this could go for what, 7 games? Man, I hope this is a 7-game series.
The anticipation sky high for the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Nothing symbolizes possibility like the horizon. The vastness, the freedom.
So this is going to be Minnesota Timberwolves against, who is it? I'm just blanking. Mavericks, Dallas Mavericks.
The West has always been at the bleeding edge.
Right now it's Kevin Costner narrating this. They make it feel so epic. I already love the playoffs, and NBA is my favorite to actually watch, but they make it feel big. And unlike the way that ESPN kind of does it, I'm not really a fan of just like how rigid their programming is, at least for like the pre-game and post-game shows. Some of the new like morning shows, they're doing pretty well with First Take and Get Up. And even the Pat McAfee show is something that I'm pretty interested in too. But those pre-game and post-game shows are just rigid. They're trying to insert people that I really like Michael Wilbon and Stephen A. Smith. But even with that, it's just like, it's not quite there yet. They have to have people who have rapport. And here are people that have 30 years, 10 years, 20 years of rapport, and they do so well with one another. Again, this is going to be a big loss. But I'm going to enjoy this because it's 80 degrees outside. It's beautiful. I'm in a good situation. I think I am all ready to kind of like fully, firmly enjoy this. Because, yeah, this is really my favorite TV show right now.
Way to feel impossible, but close enough to fire the imagination. There's nothing like it. Many people dream of chasing it. It's everything you can see with the promise of even more to come. You know it's going to be a war. This typical team right now, they're trying to make it. That's in our spirit. It's who we are. Relentless. Welcome to the West.
We are in Minneapolis, the city of lakes, and we are fixing to dive into the Western Conference Finals here on TNT. Thanks for being with us as we come to you live from Target Center.
Man, even that music is just iconic.
Stars on both sides. That's how you go to work, matchup.
All right, they're showing Kyrie Irving. I started, whoa, Cat is wearing like an old school Timberwolves Sealy jersey with ice on. Luka's just wearing like a regular blue sweater. Oh, so they also have Draymond Green, who is weirdly one of my favorite people when he's speaking, but when he's playing and doing dumb things is one of my least favorite people. I don't know how this works in my mind. But we got the 5 here.
I can't wait for this series to start. I think this is really an attractive matchup. I love Minnesota back in there after 20 years. Dallas trying to make it to the finals. They've been to the Western Conference Finals now 2 of the last 3 years. We'll talk all about that in a second. First, you've probably seen that this is sitting on the set here.
They won an Emmy.
To the entire crew here.
They won an Emmy, dude. Come on.
Another Emmy for this show. Yes.
Another.
We really appreciate the hard work. We all take credit for it and take pride in it. And every piece of that of this team, as important as the next. And it doesn't happen without this great crew that we have here taking the show on the road.
Shout out to everybody in Atlanta who's not here, man. We love you guys, and thank y'all so much for your hard work.
Indeed.
So what is the category specifically for our viewers that the show has won?
This was there's a weekly and then there's a outstanding studio show, Limited Run. Limited run means for the playoffs.
For the playoffs, and then we also like to congratulate you and Charles for winning individual Emmys. You guys have, and that's still part of the team. Yeah, you guys are the best. Not Draymond. Just kidding. No, man. It's a pleasure and an honor to work with all you guys. I'm just kidding, Draymond, but our staff, they deserve all the credit, man. So thank everybody who work in the studio.
Thank you, Spice, Aisha, Underdog, Ben, David, everybody here.
Bridget,
Brittany.
It is Brittany. It is a total team effort.
Yes. Chuck's girl from Auburn, what's her name? Chuck's Leah.
Snyder.
Snyder. Love you guys.
Meantime, we've mentioned how long it's been, Draymond, that since we've had the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. Goes back to 2004.
They're chanting something. I have no idea what they're chanting.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, they're showing 2004 with Magic. Oh, he was there. Ernie with hair. 20 years ago. 20 years ago, man. That's insane.
Hey, Shaq was here too. Shaq was here.
When? Wait, he was?
Yeah, in 2004, he was playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's right.
Minnesota was the #1 seed that year. Yeah. You guys
All right, back 2004. Showing Shaq against the Timberwolves. Oh my god.
You know what? That's how you keep stealing Emmys from me and Kenny, because every time we try to make Are you done there? Yeah, I mean, we got. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I know we're going to talk about Atlanta, but it's the mentality.
I don't know what my hair is doing right now.
This is great players, and listen, they were the #1 seed, but when you get to this point, you have to turn your mentality by now. You have to say, because listen, this is the prize. You want to win a championship. I think I won 1 or 2 before that. And I was actually 3, and we were trying to get #4, so I kind of knew what it was to turn that mentality up. And listen, they had the #1 team, we know what we had to do, and that was great time. So I'm anxious to see what mentality Edwards and Luka Doncic, because now that all the big names are out, and everybody's talking about this new era, I'm anxious to see this series.
I think it's beautiful to see these guys back in 20 years, and I think the one thing that stands out to me is you had a generational talent then in Kevin Garnett, and you got a generational talent now.
Oh yeah, back in 2004, KG was there.
The attitude that he's given Cat and Rudy Gobert is the reason this team is still here, they're still battling, and got a chance to win a world championship.
Let's take a look at Carmack's one-on-one and kind of the springboard to our conversation. First 2 segments.
All the while, Shaq is going like this for 4 rings to Chuck.
It begins with defense. It begins and ends with defense. Sure, you got an offensive firepower in Anthony Edwards, but defense is what's carried this team. And you see the opponent points when they win. It's 94 they hold teams to. And you see the other numbers, points off turnovers.
All right, if I had to guess, Timberwolves are winning this series against the Mavs.
6-0 when they hold teams under 100. They did that 4 times.
That fight
to the reigning champion Denver Nuggets
that Ant has is insane.
to get here. So, what is going to be the key area from a Minnesota standpoint? Who's the most important player on this team?
To me, it's always Karl Anthony Towns, but it's going to have to be Karl Anthony Towns.
Interesting.
When he starts
Okay.
shooting threes and post up and use his size advantage. But to me, it's really going to be Nas Reed. Because I think the Timberwolves are going to have to go small to play against the Mavs. Because Kyrie and Luka, they're going to be going downhill. And it's going to be up to the smaller guys from the Mavs to step up and make threes. So for me, it's going to be Nas Reed and Karl. Karl's got to force his will upon those smaller Mavs, and Nas Reed is going to have to play a lot of minutes. Rudy Gobert is a terrific defensive player, but they're not going to go. The Mavs don't have a guy they go to in the post. So it's going to be up to them to go small because see how they can stop the Mavs 3-point shooters. That's why, I watched tape the last couple of days. I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the Mavs to win this series.
Okay.
I thought you picked them the other day.
I know, I think that I got caught up in the moment after the game because the Wolves looked great against Denver. But I think this is the game of matchups, and I'm switching my pick to the Mavs.
Kenny, who you got your eye on the Minnesota side?
Well, I think it's the totality, with Mike Conley coming back, I think everyone's in their natural position. And I want to switch gears just a little bit, Ernie, in this, where, and no disrespect to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and or Halliburton, but whoever wins this series, the face of the league is coming out. They have the two most polarizing guys, with Luka Doncic and Anthony Edwards.
I honestly
So
don't
now,
think Luka could
if they
ever
get to
be the
finals,
face of the NBA.
They won or lost.
First is just kind of nonchalant attitude. Anthony Edwards is just massively like a huge personality and a great player too.
This is something different to me to watch from a fan standpoint, not an analyst, but a fan who comes out and be the face of the NBA moving forward.
Wow. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
I think this is it.
No, I think, what, Boston Celtics are the favorite.
Nobody said a favor.
Celtics are the
You're not
favorite.
listening. You know what I'm
Dumbest
saying?
things I've ever heard.
You got to. You're not listening. I didn't say anything about winning and losing. Did I?
think
You said that, not everybody.
Are they not?
It ain't gonna be if Luka
Come on,
won
man.
or Anthony lost. It's not gonna be that. I think the Boston Celtics, if they can get Porzingis back, they're
They
going
face
to be.
any one of them teams, it ain't gonna be no easy win.
Oh, I didn't say it was gonna be easy.
Okay, but you said they're the favorite. So
They are the favorites.
Okay, but usually when you say the team is the favorite, like Golden State used to be in Lakers, but used to be, that means we're gonna win.
You didn't win every time.
Well,
And
I
the
didn't win
every
any time. I won 3 out of 4. That's 75%. What the hell are you talking about?
You didn't win
Every time I was the favorite, I won. Yes, it is.
The Lakers, I'm not talking about that. Everybody thinks the Celtics are the favorite.
No, you. I know.
Everybody.
But do we think Porzingis gonna come back and just return the form?
That's true, man.
I think you got to wrap up.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's the finals don't start for another couple weeks.
Let's save the Celtic talk until we talk about game one of the Celtic Pacers series, which was quite a game to see.
I was just talking about this game, Ernie.
Yeah, listen, I know, but
That's all.
when we talk about Anthony Edwards, and we've seen him go off in these playoffs, from a defensive standpoint, how are you going to slow him down?
So number one, you have to send multiple bodies, and the guy who's into the ball got to be pressed up. When you watching all of these clips, the guy has to be outside the 3-point line. If you let that man start dancing,
Man, Draymond is just massively intelligent. Not just basketball, but just as a person. Again, on that, why? Why does he do the things he does? Which are very, like, I mean, it's not everything, but come on.
Every pickup point is above the 3-point line.
I don't know.
Kills on the 3, and you keep making and take these tough shots with all the bodies behind you. That's how you got to make this team score. Because Cat is a great scorer, but Rudy Gobert needs help scoring. Jaden McDaniels needs help scoring, and Mike Conley also needs help scoring. And they get going off end man, so got to send bodies out of and press up. What I like about the Minnesota team is they were solid. They won the first 2 games. Everybody was on Minnesota. They lost 2. No quit in this team. They came back. You heard the young man say, "Oh, I'll see you in Game 7." Went to Game 7. He didn't play well, but the others played well. Brian talked about this the other day. We talked about all the superstars, but the others have played. The Derek Fisher award goes to Mike Conley Jr. He hit some big shots in those games.
I agree with
He
that.
hit some big shots in those games that, I've said this ever since I've been here. I'm big on the others. I wouldn't have 4 championships without the others. So the Minnesota others, if they can play well, I like that. I would have to disagree with Chuck. If I was him, I'm not worried about going small. I would feed Rudy Gobert early. Not talking about running plays, but when he rolls, let him eat a little bit. Let him eat a little bit. Keep him motivated so he can play defense. And don't worry about going small. Just do what you do. And I think, Ant-Man, his mentality is there. He's happy to be here. Luka's thinking the same way. But if I'm in Minnesota these first 2 games, we have to win.
I think the biggest adjustment is for Dallas because they've been playing big all year. So they know they've played against teams that play small, and then they can possibly put Nas Reed in and go smaller. I don't know if Dallas every day plays big teams, so they have to adjust to possibly, if it's working, if Rudy's blocking shots and Cole Anthony's posted up, now you have to make an adjustment that you've never made yet in the playoffs. So the biggest adjustment, no matter what, is going to be with Dallas to me, because Minnesota's made this adjustment, and they played against teams like Dallas.
Well, where I think it gets interesting for the Timberwolves is this. We keep saying Minnesota going small. They're going small as Nas Reed, who's the power forward center.
Yeah.
It's not your typical going small like we've seen teams doing over the years. And that's actually
It's not your going small.
Absolutely, and that's actually why I think their advantage is when they go smaller, they still got another big, and Dallas aren't going to be able to throw as many bigs at Minnesota's bigs with Maxi Kleber out, and I think they're going to miss him a lot this season.
And that's the point I want to make. They got it because Rudy's a heck of a player, but he can't guard those three-point shooters. But that's why I think PJ, Gafford, those guys got to play well. They just got to compete on the board because Kyrie and Luka are going to do their thing. But if they keep Rudy out there, they're going to get a lot of wide open threes. But if they did, that's the key. That's why I said Nas Reed to me is the key.
How important are rebounding and defense? Aren't those the cornerstones of championship teams? Rebounding and defense?
Absolutely. You definitely have to rebound the basketball, and you got to defend. And I think both of these teams.
I think that's what Minnesota does better than Dallas does.
Well, Dallas has been great defensively during the last half of the season in the playoffs.
Games of the year, yeah.
They've been great defensively. Minnesota is a much better defensive team. But my X factor in this series is Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, I think, has to have a big series for Minnesota. I think Minnesota win this series, but Kyle needs to play well for this team.
Defense, obviously, is the most important thing, but styles make fights. This Dallas team, number one, they're better defensively. But Luka and Kyrie, they're a different animal. Because you got, number one, the Mavs going to have to stay out of foul trouble. If you have two guys, the kid's been sent out well, you got two guys that are probably the two best closers in the league. They're going to be a problem for the Wolves.
Let's talk more about the Dallas Mavericks after we take a break here as we come to you live from Target Center. Night one of the Western Conference Finals.
Chuck and Shaq have the exact same shoes on right now.
I'm wearing some, I forget what they're called. Shout out to Freeman. No, you ain't Shaq. I ain't wearing your shoes.
They have the exact same shoe. Oh wait, they're a little bit different. They're basically just black leather shoes with white soles, and that's it.
We're glad you're with us tonight.
Are you from here?
A Kevin Costner film? What is this about?
In these territories. I don't try you.
Anyway, we're watching an ad right now, so I just want to get back into things. This is my favorite TV show by far. I don't consider myself supremely educated in the NBA, but whenever they're talking about it, I feel like I'm getting it. Of course, they're dumbing it down. This is not the same conversations that they would have personally, but this is exactly what I'd be looking into and trying to get from somebody who is definitely into basketball, but trying to explain it to other people like me, like a novice. But it does show me, and this is just with everything else, it's not that there's one right answer. There are many. Let's see, that thing was for Horizon, Chapter 1. I don't know what that TV show is about at all. But anyway, just coming back to it, it's just like there is not one answer for everything. There are multiple sides, and it depends on you, it depends on the other person, and again, we're going to come back to this a lot. It's the rapport between these four. Shaq, a big man, a huge force on the Lakers when he was winning, will always have a different side and different viewpoint than, let's say, Kenny, who I believe is a point guard. I have to remember exactly what position he played. And of course, they're going to have different outlooks on the same game. But what's interesting is that they're both Hall of Famers. They both have won multiple championships. So it's not like there's a right and a wrong. There's different sides to maybe getting something done. And that's kind of how everything works here. You know what? It's harder in real life to gauge if somebody is correct or going to be correct, because even if they're the most highly educated person in a certain vein, that doesn't mean it's going to work out perfectly every single time. You can still be wrong. I can still be wrong. Anybody can still be wrong. But it's interesting. It just kind of opens you up to having more dialogue. Now, for me, who's been in media for about like 15 years, having the rapport, and again, we talked about this so much, between two people, that's great. Having three people, that is like, wow. And actually having four people, and maybe five with kind of like the person that they swing around. What's up, man? How are you? With Draymond and who is the other guy? Crawford, Jamal Crawford, I believe. Yeah, these are just people that work, and Candace Parker too. I know people don't like her in general. I mean, a lot of people don't, but I've been a huge fan. When they can talk so freely amongst one another, bringing in these new people, I feel like you can trust them more. And I'm very happy with the family that I've been able to watch here on TV. It's just, they're doing everything right. From a personal standpoint, from a media standpoint, from a business standpoint. I mean, come on. All right, we're back here. By the way, I wish my Knicks were still in it, but we're not, unfortunately. Can you see them? Yeah, you can see them, camera.
We welcome you back to Target Center as we get set for game one of the
Target Center. So this
And the Timberwolves will talk Dallas here in just a second.
Target Center. So they're playing at Timberwolves tonight.
Your guidance on this, because it's the All-NBA teams, first, second, and third team. What do you think would be the best way to do this? First team, second team, third team, or third team, second team, first?
Third team, second team, first team. I think we should do first team because if you do the third team and second team, then we'd automatically know.
No, who's going to? I'm with you.
That's not true.
And as a result,
Third.
as a result,
Third first.
nope.
Third
All
first.
NBA first team, Chuckster.
Yes, sir.
What? Hey, you wasn't on first time All NBA, bro. Hell no.
Like 6 times.
This is your
Step on the record. You can't read. That's what it is.
first team.
Just 6
First
times.
team. Congratulations. All first team.
All NBA first team.
All NBA first team. Kia. Shout out to my Kia at the house. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Dallas Mavs. Shea Gilgeous Alexander, OKC. The Joker, Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets. And Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics.
Getting that
There
money.
you go. There you go. Second team.
There we are. Kenny's reading the second one.
The Kia All NBA second team goes to Jalen Brunson.
Hell yeah.
From the New York Knicks.
Brunson.
Anthony Davis from the Los Angeles Lakers.
All right.
We know him as KD. Kevin Durant, Phoenix Suns, and we're going to see him tonight. The Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves, and from the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard.
Los Angeles what?
Clippers. Is Kawhi even playing basketball? Like, come on, man. That's done. That's over. Giving Shaq third team.
If Shaq doesn't want to do third team, please.
I've been third team All NBA before. Yeah, should have gave you Chuck early. Here, All NBA third. Hey, Chuck, I gotta tell you right at home too. It's not. Yes, it is.
I had to pay for mine.
Sponsored by Kia.
Booker of the Phoenix Suns. The great Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers. LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. And Domas Sabonis, Domantas Sabonis.
There you go. I think so too. I think that's a very good representation.
It's a bonus. I forgot about the
What
Kings.
was going to happen, because this is positionless this year. You didn't have to have, 3 front court and 2 back court. You just had the best 5 that you wanted. I thought for sure that this would mirror the top 5 in MVP voting because it was positionless. But Jason Tatum was number 6 in the
Interesting, yeah.
MVP voting, and he saw that he was first team All NBA.
Brunson was 5 and dropped the
Brunson was 5, yeah. And I have the NBA provides some of the numbers here. So first team votes, there were 99 voters. Joker, SGA, unanimous. Luka with 98. Giannis with 88. Tatum with 65. Jalen Brunson 37. So
Jalen Brunson, 36 votes.
First team All-NBA. Jalen Brunson second team. So I don't think there are any omissions. And I don't think you're looking at that and saying, how could this guy not make? Although I think, let's see, Jaylen Brown.
I gotta say, I'm surprised Kawhi was second team.
Kawhi played a bunch of games this year.
Yeah, Jalen Brown right on the threshold in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't feel that. And of course, Joel Embiid is not on there because he missed too many games. Kawhi.
Congratulations to all the guys that made it.
Yeah. So Devin Booker was the last. He had 70 total points. So he was the 5th on the 3rd team. After him, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, those were the next 4. So
I think it's a great list. I got no problem with the list. I think they did a great job with the list. I also like that the players no longer in its positionless now. I think that's great. All that play a role in the all-defensive team, so I like that it's position.
Kevin Durant tying Charles Barkley with his 11th All-NBA team selection.
11? Wow,
Y'all look Google me.
Who's all right?
Look on the big sexy on Google. Let's go to Google Chrome and see the big sexy.
All-NBA for the first time out of those 3 teams. Brunson, Edwards, and Halliburton.
Well deserved.
There you go. Yeah. And LeBron, the first player with 20 All-NBA team selections.
20, dude. That's
20
insane.
straight seasons, year through
You
year.
can do that, Chuck.
Hey, first of all, I want to give LeBron a shout out. You guys know I hate social media. I got to give LeBron a shout out. It's something I read on Bleacher Report. That's the only thing I do. I love Bleacher Report. That's it.
Expand your horizon.
No, I don't want to go to the internet. Look at the internet. But he's so mad. Let me look at this camera right here. 80 degrees. You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world. Y'all should be thanking them girls for getting y'all ass private charters. All the money and visibility.
Oh my God. Caitlin Clark, amazing player, but this is putting a giant target on her back.
Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table. But y'all being petty like dudes. LeBron, you are 100% right. Y'all girls, stop being petty. Caitlin Clark, thank you for bringing all that money and shine to the WNBA.
Well, they're going to hate you even more than I
They hate her even more, yes.
They're going to hate you, though.
They can hate on me, but they really think. But that mailman better be in my damn house the first and the 15th. For another year.
Let's continue our discussion of Game 1 and talk about the Dallas
Oh, man.
Mavericks.
They just said another
Trying
year.
to do what we saw last year.
Wait, another year?
The Lakers didn't
Does
get
that-
home court advantage in either series, made it to the conference finals. Miami Heat didn't have home court advantage, made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and eventually the NBA Finals. Dallas is trying to do that same thing. And they knocked out 2 good teams. They beat the Clippers in 6, they beat the Thunder in 6. And that last game against the Thunder, their only 1-point win of the season. They were the only team in the league that didn't have a 1-point game. And then they come up with it in Game 6 and advance to the conference finals. So tell me, when you look at Dallas, Chuckster, what is going to have to happen for them to advance to the NBA finals?
Well, I told you, I love the Mavs. I'm going to pick them to win this series. I already done that. I think there are other players that just got to step up. Because the matchups, it's all about matchups. I think their role players, in my opinion, I think the general manager going out getting Gafford and PJ, getting lively. I think they've done a fabulous job. I told you, I said before at the trade deadline, the Dallas Mavericks and the Pacers had the best trade deadline. And I love what they did. And I think if their role players do their thing.
I think the Knicks had a pretty good trade deadline too. I mean, obviously, Anunoby, getting rid of RJ Barrett. No offense.
Makes a great point, but in order for the role players to play great, it's a 1-2 punch. I need them to be aggressive all the time. I'm watching Kyrie. Kyrie has been a little too nice. I don't like to see the great Kyrie Irving go quarters without scoring or being in the single digits. If he's super aggressive for all
Kyrie Irving's playing out of his mind. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Big shots. I'm watching him to be super aggressive. Like him, just sitting back, watching everybody. That'll work sometimes, but the first
Kyrie Irving is the best ball handler in the league right now. Not even, I don't think there's a question about that. Who else? Nobody else.
You know what I find, if you're looking at Dallas, and I would find it if I'm pulling for Dallas to be encouraging in that in the Clippers series, Kyrie and Luka combined for about 53 points a game. Against OKC, it was 40 points a night combined between those two, yet they still won the series in 6.
And then that says a lot about their defense, right? Like their defense has been keeping them in games. When Luka's struggling, when Kyrie's struggling, their defense. And then as everyone said, the other guys, Derek Jones Jr. and PJ Washington's been huge. We just saw Derek Lively at plus 87 in 21 minutes a night during these playoffs. So, but all those other guys stepping up, you can have off nights because your defense is there and you got the other guys stepping up and playing well offensively.
Yeah, and you can't overlook a guy like Derek Jones, who has come up huge. He's had career postseason highs in his last 3 games.
He just made himself a lot of money. He's playing great. Again, I've been there 12 years. I'm talking about the others. He's a vital part of Dallas' success. He's playing well, and he's playing well. But again, this is the Western Conference Finals. Sometimes you have to continue.
Talking about Derek Jones Jr. I haven't watched the Mavs a lot. Just, I think, last series in the playoffs. And I really don't know who that is. Honestly, don't know who that is.
He just made himself some good money.
You talked about how you might defend Anthony Edwards. Now, how are you going to defend Kyrie Irving?
So I think actually with Kyrie Irving, it's a little bit of the same with Anthony Edwards. Your pickup point has to be outside of the three-point line because those guys are rhythm players. You let them walk in the threes, those shots are money. You want them taking these tough mid-range shots. We saw Kyrie in the last 2 series get it going periodically at times, but when you let them take these tough mid-range, you got Lou Dort getting the rim you contest. All of these guys, there he is chasing over the screen. Where's his pickup point? He's above the three-point line. So you got to make sure you activate Ant-Man and like right here, you got to activate Kyrie. If you let them dance and do everything on their terms, it's going to be a long night for them.
But also, Ernie, the one thing, Anthony Edwards got to stay out of foul trouble. See, Luka and Kyrie,
Yeah.
they're better defenders, but they don't make their living on defense.
If Anthony Edwards gets into foul trouble, they're going to lose this series. Like, pretty quickly, too.
He told us he was going to be on it.
Yeah. You know what? You know this guy in high school named Darnell Miles. I wanted to fight, and he whooped the hell out of me. I should have grabbed somebody else. Just because you want Kyrie, don't mean no. This ain't personal. You just the toughest guy. Way to go, Darnell.
Are you speaking from your prison experience? They said when you go to prison, you beat up the toughest guy in there. Like, no, you gonna get your ass whooped. George said he won't Kyrie. That sounds good in theory. That sounds good. Kyrie is one of the.
And Kyrie got to guard him too now.
Well, he not so young. No, you don't. No way. No.
First of all,
He too little.
hold on. First of all, position is better though. There's going to be some matchups with Kyrie.
Yeah, there's going to be some matchups, but you can't go for him every time. Also, you can't call out the fact that you're going for him every time. Bring your ass.
Offensive players we've ever had. So is that. He is. They are. They are. I'm just saying. be careful what you ask for.
Well, be careful what you ask for, but he always had taken.
Also, if you
This is
go,
not new for him. It's not
if
like
you
he
defend
shots
against
away
Kyrie
from
every single
the
time, you're going to be
Again,
zapping a lot of your energy.
gonna do what they've done.
So I think that's one of the worst choices you can have right now. I mean, I know Anthony Edwards he's young and he has a massive amount of energy. But I mean, don't deplete it on defense. I think if anything, Anthony Edwards needs to focus on offense. Obviously, right? Just showing a little girl just like throwing something because Shaq didn't want to announce the third team All NBA. Third.
Shaq turning down the assignment. Draymond, thanks for picking it up. Third team All-NBA. What's the worst part?
All right, so coming back to everything, it's just so I want to make this personal about myself a little bit. So there have been times when I've had podcasts and when I've had partners in media, and it's been tough to find the rapport that works over and over and over again. You can find something that works maybe for, let's say, a few months, a year if you're really good. But if you want, like, let's say, to co-host something, there's a reason why I do a lot of my content just by myself. People's situations change, their mannerisms change. For me, I change a lot too, and I kind of like take over the show, so I have to have the people kind of match my energy, or at least during like pre-planning, it has to be more about, hey, today I'm going to be this, so you need to be this, and here are the talking points where we can go back to. But for me, I'm not the best planner on earth, so I kind of do things naturally, and the easiest way to do it is just to kind of have it be me, and whatever the energy is, it just works out.
Hey boy,
It just works out.
got a call to make the president smile.
I've never seen Smiling Friends, but I kind of want to see this. It seems, people have said it's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, coming back to it, it's really hard to actually get people who have rapport all the time. And for these people to at least have, what, the 3 for about 20-something years and the 4 for about, what, 15 years now? That's incredible. Like, it's incredible, and it's a testament to them, and I love it. I'm going to be so upset if and when this goes away. I think the last time that I thought that something was going to happen to this team was when Kenny Smith was up for consideration for a coaching position. I believe it may have been the Rockets. And in my mind, I was like, if you can get that, please get that, because he is such an intelligent human being. He deserves that. But selfishly, and maybe not selfishly, because I watch this for entertainment and I like this show. Selfishly, I wanted him to stay because my favorite personalities are, and I think it's just how the show is built. It's Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal, while it would be a big thing if he went away, like if he chose to do something else, which I'm kind of shocked he's been at this for such a long time, but if he wanted to do something else, I could easily see that. We have another 26 minutes. I need water.
I love that. Huh? You know what else can be epic? The conference finals. And game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That was something last night, man. Coming down to
Man, the Pacers losing like that. Pacers beat my Knicks, but that is rough. And why are there little nails everywhere? Pacers should have won that game, and because they lost that game, I don't think they're ever going to be able to get that kind of intensity back. Just to be honest.
Indiana did their best Reggie Miller impression.
No, that Reggie Miller would have won that game.
Yeah, you see Tyrese Halliburton hoodie?
That was an awful possession.
Tyrese Halliburton really had Reggie.
Oh my goodness. Turnover by Tatum here, and Halliburton follows.
Did you guys see the end of that game? That game was insane.
So in overtime,
I was thinking, okay, Pacers got this. There's no way they could mess it up. And then I remember the bad inbounds play with Siakam, but I just realized, and I was watching kind of like the coverage about this, and they had a multitude of bad plays before this. Man, I don't know.
Tatum had 36 and 12 on the night. And the Boston Celtics on their floor ringed in 133 to 120.
That was their chance, because I know Boston has their own issues, but I don't believe this is going to be a wake-up call for them. They are now going to be like, okay, we can't let this happen again.
That was a game, dog. They blew that game. The Pacers deserve to win that game. They didn't get any sleep last night. It's going to be a long 48 hours before the next game because that was 100% just a...
When do they play next? Is there 3 days in between?
You got to be sick to your stomach if you're the Pacers.
What's the Pacers' schedule?
And I felt the turnovers, but there were 2 turnovers.
May 23rd.
This cannot happen. First of all, obviously...
Oh, they play tomorrow, so it's 2-day breaks. It's not the finals yet.
I agree with Chuck. And to add to that, Aaron, there's nothing worse as a player, especially Western these kind of fouls, when you beat yourself. You got to pace like Chuck said. I played my whole game, and in a minute, 45 seconds left, you can't have no turnovers. They end up having 2 turnovers.
Those are bad turnovers.
The 3 by Jaylen Brown that we're talking about. Let's hear from Pascal Siakam and Rick Carlisle on that play.
Was there instruction to foul before that round 3, even though there wasn't really a chance to do so?
Yes, but he caught the ball and he was face up, so Pascal decided to lay off, which was, I understand.
That's a smart idea. Like, is it not? Maybe I'm not.
It was just a judgment call. Like
I'm not
I
sure.
felt like he was going to his motion. Like he had a pump fake. Like I didn't want to, foul Dan. And it's a tough shot. I mean, like I was in front of him. It's just tough. Man.
This loss is
Siakam's taller than him too. It's just
need to concentrate on fighting the way they fought.
that was a
from
very
start to
good
finish.
shot. I'm not going to say lucky. That was a good shot.
Basketball is a game of mistakes. Things happen. What you want to not have is unforced errors. Any other Pacers have unforced errors yesterday. Lost the ball, bringing it up. There was no defensive pressure. Inbounding the basketball. That is, it doesn't matter if you move it to half court, kept it at that. You just got to inbound the basketball because they have to foul you. So there is a difference in terms of unforced errors and errors. If someone plays great defense, blocks your shot, you're bringing them up, they pick you and have.
I think the Mavs are coming on the floor right now.
Those things cannot happen.
Speaking of great defense, Boston has a problem on their hands. Porzingis has been out for a while now. He's supposed to return. He's not in playoff shape, and everybody else is rolling. Al Horford is struggling so bad guarding the pick and roll that it's only a matter of time before it catches up to you. And I think they got to figure that out. They got great defenders all around. Al Horford has to struggle with a great defender.
Who do I want to win this game? Not the Celtics. I don't want the Celtics to win. I would be very happy if the Wolves won. Timberwolves won. Mavs, I'd be kind of happy, but same with the Pacers. It's like, I would love it if the Wolves won this.
The fans are ready to go. I saw Troy, I saw a couple of guys that playing, but we all played. My advice to the young fellas here, take advantage of this moment. Full advantage of this moment. Don't always think because you're young, you will always get back. So if I'm Luka,
I'm thinking about that championship. I'm thinking about that ball, and I'm going to work. I'm not waiting for nobody. I'm coming out and do what I gotta do. I'm keeping these fans involved. We have the home court advantage. We need these first 2 games.
I definitely agree with Shaq. They cannot lose home court advantage these first 2 games. You got this crowd going to be in it. They got a whiteout in here. It's looking beautiful. It's been 20 years. Got to get these fans what they want. And also
20
take
years.
advantage of the momentum of closing out the defending champions in Game 7.
Understand that this is not the moment. It could be extended. So understand that there's multiple games, multiple things, and not get caught up in trying to do everything in Game 1. Play as hard as you could, play hard, play smart, play together. And if you win or lose...
I always forget that Anthony Edwards is 22 years old.
Because we don't know how this Timberwolves team is going to react. I mean, because they're the favorite in the West now. They've never been favored in the West. Nobody on that team has been favored in the West. Their best players is a young kid who's an emerging superstar. So I'm curious to see. We know what Luka and Kyrie gonna do. They've been in big situations before. But we don't know. We don't know how Nas Reed's gonna react or any of those guys.
How big, when you look at it now, was winning Game 7 on the floor of the champions to get to this point right now? And what kind of, is there such thing as a carryover from a game like that into the next series?
I think it is, because you're riding that high, you're riding the momentum. Now, on the flip side, you can't have a letdown because that's such an emotional high that how do you get back to that level? But not this time of year. This is the conference finals. This team hasn't been here. I think they'll be ready to go no matter what.
I was in this position before we went through these teams watching the Magic Moment documentary, and I was in that position before. We beat the great Michael Jordan. I know he wasn't Michael Jordan. We beat them, best player in the world. We had to play Indiana the next round. And I'm going to agree but disagree with you guys. I was saying that all the guys are going. No Chuck, Moran, it's my time. I'm going to work. I'm not waiting for nobody. So I understand you say hands not saying, but I love his mentality. I love the way he thinks. It's important for him.
Countdown begins now.
It's important for him to see this moment, though.
I want to say one more thing. The one thing that the Wolves got to be careful of, coming out so jacked up, and this crowd going to be going crazy.
Jacked up.
They're going to be jacked up.
That's the best right there, Chuck.
But I'm saying, if they going crazy with that adrenaline, they got to have some left for late in the game.
Yeah.
They're going to be electric. They're going to be electric. The crowd's going to be electric.
Very interesting to see how they come out defensively. You saw how pumped up they were and how they were against Denver. See how they do against Luka and Kyrie and company here in the West. Over here in conference final. If you want epic, you don't want to miss Furiosa. A Mad Max saga. Only in theaters this Friday.
I have to say, so it's the energy that I get from the show. Today I was outside, I was working, it's a beautiful day out there. I even went to Bryant Park for a little bit. Tonight, I don't feel like hanging out with people. I didn't feel like going to a friend's place or to a bar. There are nights where I just want to be alone. I want to watch TV. But when it comes the time where these 4 people who have been around in my life, 3 of them since 2006, I believe is when I started watching this. It's kind of just like it's kind of my first option of a podcast. So, like when you listen to a podcast, if it's one person, it kind of feels like they're talking at you or they're just talking around you. When there's at least 2 people, if not 3 people, then it kind of feels like a conversation is being bounced around. And maybe for the time you are just kind of like that quiet person in that conversation who doesn't have to exert themselves, who doesn't have to put anything in that. And they just get to be a part of that type of conversation. I guess it depends on the podcast you watch, but you could get people, talking about politics. They could be talking about sports, like this here. They could be talking about just anything. Star Wars, who knows? But regardless if I'm into sports that day, when this comes up here, when I'm at home, when I'm able to watch, I'm gonna make it a point to watch this here. It's just interesting. It's engaging. It's fun. It's like, again, going out with people, but you don't actually have to exert yourself or put pants on because you're at home. You're just enjoying. I remember in a different way too, two of my other favorite TV shows would be Around the Horn and Pardon the Interruption. And I remember getting off work, this was years ago, going to like TGI Fridays and watching those in public. And thankfully, that location they showed and played the audio for those shows, they take place around at 5. But when I was watching the Knicks play, at least in New York City, it's a huge environment. There is cheers, there's everything. When the game starts, then they put it up. And I kind of remembered that when they were playing NBA Tip-Off on TNT, not all the places would be playing the music, the audio. So I couldn't really hear it. I was like, okay, I'm watching, that's good. But I kind of wanted to be home to be able to listen to this.
Let's take a look at our VR Kicks Tunnel Cam presented by Sprite. Very nice of Cat to honor Malik.
Hey, D's.
Sealy D's.
See them shots. Great job, Kyle. You coming.
So you got on it, but I walked it and I didn't get on it.
Word. First of all, I'm only here because I'm only here because.
All right. Ask me again.
That's me again.
Ernie, calm down. Wait, can we see what you had on? Can we just pick your foot up?
Can you pick your foot?
We gotta show it. Be careful. Don't pull a girl and try to lift your leg out.
Everyone has the same shoes. That's sick though. Patent leather Jordans. But they're literally all wearing the same thing. Black top, white bottom shoes.
What's that? Comes carrying gifts.
I got something for y'all. Okay. I'm bringing those shoes out here. So, I actually had these made a few years ago.
Draymond's giving them shoes.
Kind of to honor me coming on this show with you guys accepted me. So I wanted to make these in honor of Chuck 70s, my Converse family.
Chuck 70s.
Craig Sager. These for y'all guys. I appreciate y'all accepting me on here.
Hey, Dre, these are nice.
Do I get 2 pairs, Draymond?
2 pairs.
I got 2 boxes, dummy.
By the way, all of y'all shoes have something special to you.
These might be snacks.
These are awesome.
They are. Shout out to the late great Craig Sager.
Who are these for, Draymond? Because these ain't mine.
You know what? You can't fit them.
Yeah, I can't get it.
Oh, that's crazy. I see it.
What?
It's been nearly 8-14 since we lost.
It's got Mills Craig Sager, man. We love you, Craig. We miss you.
Godfather, Nito.
Before I let go, the Frankie Beverly song, thank you. Thank you, Dre.
That's hot. Appreciate you, Dre.
Dude, see, it's things like that too. Draymond is perfect for this show. Like, he's really good. He mixes in well with this. He just gave him custom Chuck Taylor shoes with like these kind of like, it's like almost a rainbow vibe, but it's each of their faces talking in like different directions. Like the outline, you can tell it's them. And he said that they were personalized. I'm not really sure because we didn't really get to see, but the colorfulness was because of Craig Sager, a long time, let's call him reporter, commentator on this show. He passed away a few years ago, but he always wore these extremely colorful and flamboyant suits, and that was just like a good callback, a good show of respect to him, just because it's a family there. It's really a family there. When Golden State was bounced, I was kind of like, okay, that part of everybody's life is over. for this year. Maybe Draymond's going to be traded. Who knows what exactly is going to be happening. My remote's not working. I just paused it, and now it doesn't unpause. Anyway, well, we have this happening here. I'm not sure what to stop. This thing kind of crapped out right now. But anyway, it's just like the show of respect for this. I'm going to watch this game. I'm very interested in this game. I think the Timberwolves are going to do great. I think they all seriously hinge on what Anthony Edwards does. I know people said that Cat is the most important. Rudy Gobert, defensive player of the year, but he's kind of not the same person in the playoffs. I think it all hinges on Anthony Edwards. And again, if he plays defense on Kyrie and amasses a lot of fouls quickly, I really think the team tides on his energy level, or at least the energy level that he's able to show on TV. When the game is going on, and if he's just not there, I don't think they have that same personality. So he can't get into foul trouble. Please don't guard Kyrie, but we'll see what happens here. But I will watch the game, but I'm gonna make dinner here. Like, I'm just gonna make dinner. I'm gonna be kind of watching in and out. I love the commentary, but what I'm really looking forward to is halftime, when you get maybe a few segments with this crew, and then one of my favorite things ever is Inside the NBA, which is the post-game show. And I love it, and I know they gotta hate it. I love it when it's ends at 1 a.m. Oh, there's another segment. Please work. It's not working. I had to grab that.
Customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your $5 bet wins. Just scan the QR code now to download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Same game parlay. Hey, now we're in the Western Conference Finals. Turn over a new leaf here.
Defeated.
I heard Kenny talking in those terms about the board, and it didn't happen. But you're going 30 plus for Luka. Yep. A half a dozen assists for Kyrie.
I bet once this playoff season and I lost. I'm not doing that. I played once also during the regular season because of a free bet, and it was that time when the Rockets beat the Knicks on a technicality, and I lost everything. Not doing that again.
Kyrie or Anthony Edwards? That's the matchup we want to see, because I think Kyrie is even more important than Luka to this offense, and you got to stop.
Kyrie's the most important player in that team by far.
You show the people that the world is yours. You show the people that you are the new face of the NBA. I got the Mavs today. I got the Wolves.
You got the Wolves.
Shout out to Google for my Google Pixel. I appreciate it. I was at Google yesterday. Thank you, Google.
Thank you, Google. But yeah, going off on what I said last time, my favorite part is, so I always, before I go to bed, the TV's on. The TV stays on, and it just kind of, this is what helps me fade into sleep. And one of my favorite things is having the show be on and just listening to this group have fun with one another, and as I just kind of fade into sleep. It's like really one of my high points of media in general. With things so up and down, Marvel was cool, Star Wars was cool, there's a bunch of, things that we can all relate to. There's big TV shows, but the one TV show I've never been let down by is this show. I don't believe I'm trying to think. Has there even been one time when I watched the show and was not happy? Maybe there was a bad take that one of them had, but then the other ones, they have a different take usually. I think there was one show where I was really like, man, man, I do not like this take. But since 2006, 18 years, that has been a great TV show with no missteps for me for 18 years, and for them, 30 years. I would love to see. Oh, they're showing the ad for the Lazarus Project. I think the last kind of great TNT type show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this. By the way, we're having crab cakes tonight.
The Lazarus Project. New season
This is gonna be good.
on TNT. Ready?
They also have All American Wrestling. But again, man, if they lose the NBA, if they lose this show, you know what? This is interesting because they replay Inside the NBA on NBA TV. What if NBA picked this up and just had this as a long form, show? Whatever they can do to save this, please save this show. I don't like change in this way.
On True TV. Check out Jordan Cornette, Chris Haynes, and Vince Carter, who will be providing their thoughts.
Oh, the alt cast? I love alternative casts, by the way. I'm watching this. Kevin Hart with the ESPN and the Manning cast.
To tip this thing off, it's Game 1, Dallas and Minnesota on TNT.
All right, so I'm going to change the channel to True TV because that's something that I wanted to watch. Because, again, I love the alt casts, and there's something wrong with my remote. What was I saying? Yeah, that just gave me an idea. What if this becomes an NBA TV show that we can kind of stream anywhere? Because I don't think it's going to be picked up by NBC because of just contracts. All right, so we're going to watch the alt cast. We're going to join live.
With cricket, my bill is
A new offer. 5G for 15. You heard it here first. 5G plans starting at 15.
Let's see. Sorry about that. Yeah,
You're on cricket.
I don't know what I'm going to do when this TV show goes away. It has been a high point for my entire life. So this is something that means a lot to me personally. I've never met these men in real life. I may one day, and it may just be like a hey, hello, because I'm not really in the sports world, so we don't have like a lot of things to talk about, but I'm not one to be like, oh, you've changed my life completely and all of that, but I will be like, hey man, thank you for everything you do, because you have made so many people's lives just more enriched and like positive. And I know that that's saying a lot for just a TV show, but come on, man. This has been such an incredible TV show. Anyway, guys, we're going to cut this off. Guys, if you have any comments or questions, put it in the comments section below. I'm going to be doing more lives. We're going to be doing more podcasts. We're going to be doing more events here in New York City. So M8B9, which this channel is the dumping ground for everything that I can't categorize right now. Creative Reviews is still there. It's going to be for reviews. We'll figure that in. Anyway, guys, enjoy the game, and I will see you next time.